just because they come from a particular part of the country. This is a country where a boy from Anambra will score over 300 in JAMB examination. He will not get admission. Somebody will score 100 from Kebbi State. He will enter university, and then before you know it, he will end up as a permanent secretary or as a Supreme Court judge.
Right. Well, the controversy surrounding President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's appointments has taken center stage in social discourse. Tinubu's appointments have been criticized for allegedly favoring his tribesmen and women over other Nigerians. Last week, Senator Ali Ndume, an APC lawmaker, publicly accused the president of violating the federal character principle in his appointments. Well, in response to these allegations, the presidency released a list of appointees and their geopolitical zones, revealing a notable underrepresentation of the Southeast and a significant number of appointments from the Southwest, the president's home region. However, critics pointed out that the list was incomplete. Notably missing was the president's chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. Well, in response, Sunday Dare, the president's special advisor on media and public communication, apologized for the errors in the list and promised an updated version. Rufai, I know that you saw this Sunday Dare's tweet that was trending. I believe that he has deleted it. Let me just read some parts of the tweet that he put out, because he also, published the lists as well with this tweet. Sunday Dare wrote, President Tinubu and appointments. On this issue of appointments by the Tinubu administration, it is important to state that President Bola Tinubu is a detribalized leader. His antecedents before he even became president speak to this fact. As Lagos governor, President Tinubu populated his government with competent hands, both from within and outside Lagos, not minding which tribe you come from. People tend to isolate new appointments so far made by the president to examine them with a tribal lens. But is it too early to conclude that appointments are lopsided? Tinubu has barely completed 2 years in office. There are plenty more appointments still coming. Well, Sunday Dare, we are still waiting for that list. But let me just, reel out, the numbers of the list that he had published. According to the geopolitical zone, I believe there were about 29 from the Southwest. As well, then we saw 25 people from the North Central, 24 from Northeast, 35 from Northwest, 22 from South, and 15 from the Southeast. We saw that, that was some of the outrage we saw. Because it did show that, some sort of lopsidedness. But I saw a lot of people from the Northwest, Vimbai. In the meantime, before I come to you, a report from the Sun newspaper claims that the federal government has decided to disregard the 70-30% ratio for career diplomats and political appointees in the recent list of ambassadorial nominees. The report quoted a source from within the ministry, stating that the list is currently undergoing screening by security agencies or political figures, such as former senator representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, former aviation minister Femi Fani-Kayode, and former presidential aide Reno Omokri have been reported in the media as part of the nominees undergoing screening. I believe that they said that the source also expressed concern that the move prioritizes political interests over career expectations of diplomats, potentially leading to inadequate representation for the country. That is the source from, the Sun newspaper quoting. We did see those names. They are not verified, but we saw those names that people are screaming, Reno Omokri, Femi Fani-Kayode, and all of that. Your thoughts on?
So see, this is my mindset as regards federal character. It should not just be about where you are from. It should also be about the competence of the individual. And if you look hard enough, across every area, over 774 local government areas in this country, we have competent people, we have standard people. The accusation that I've also made is the fact that, see, it's tilted more towards the Yoruba tribe. I have a Yoruba man, I'm telling you this. And I want a level of fairness. See, you will look at that list and you'll see a lot of North Central. Like some of these NNPC appointments recently made. They will claim they're from North Central, but they're from Yoruba ethnic group. And that's just what it has become. When people start to have that perception that, it's a Yoruba government, that's not fair. And a leader must absolve themselves from all of this. See, let's go back to the Civil War. These were exactly the concerns during the Civil War. Federal character has always been a big issue. We all even set up a Federal Character Commission. We must be able to have a level of balancing, and that must start from the perspective of the leader. The leader must be able to incorporate many parts. It has to be said. Please correct me if I'm wrong. During Olusegun Obasanjo's time, Did we ever have a need to say it was a Yoruba-based government? No. In fact, the accusation against Olusegun Obasanjo then was that it was a Southeast government, an Igbo government, because he embraced a lot of people from the Southeast. So that's what we are talking about. And you see, I do not like the vituperations and the jerking reactions from the presidency, because when you make any comment, they think you are attacking them. No, we want the best for the country.
Right.
They should stop this constant case of Jakboroism. Jakboro fidgeting.
What does it mean?
Jakboro means you wiggle. You are so quick to respond. No. And Ali Ndume was apt when he said, we know that their foot soldiers are going to come at me.
Yeah.
So please, let us remove that. Secondly, I have not gotten the empirical list. I don't want to comment based on not having empirical facts.
All right.
But if the feelers I'm hearing as regards the quality of persons being considered for ambassadorial position, Nigeria has become a joke.
All right.
It is dancing wiggle, 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 wiggle.
All right, Rufai, you and your words. You know, my dad asked me once to ask you, Rufai. You said Werekpe. What is Werekpe? He wants to know.
Means
Werekpe. When you criticize them, it affects them like Werekpe. Dr. Abati, your thoughts?
Look, what we're dealing with is a problem at the heart of the Nigerian national question.
Yes.
It speaks to the fact that we're not yet a nation. We're a country whereby everything is looked at from the prism of religion and ethnicity. Every Nigerian that gets to power at the center plays the politics of proximity, plays the politics of what Matthew Kuka calls the Maronization of power, and does not also feel safe with people from other parts of Nigeria. You want your own people, thinking that your own people are the ones that will make you safe. That's why, go and check. When they appoint a chief security officer, ADC and all that, they usually pick people from their areas. So, and this problem has been there. It was part of the reason for the Civil War. Decree number 34 of 1966, the unification decree introduced by Oronsi. People say, oh, this was supposed to help Igbos because, an Igbo man was there, and they looked at the government and they said Igbos were dominating everywhere. We have not recovered from that root cause in this country. That's why I have argued elsewhere that this federal character that we're talking about, yes, there is the whole purpose under section 14 sub 3 of the Constitution is about equity, fairness, diversity.
That's it.
But also there should be an emphasis on competence, ability. The president of Nigeria, in dispensing patronage, I said over 5,000 positions that can be dispensed by the federal government of Nigeria. It is up to the president to make sure that there is fairness, equity. But should we get to a point in this country? That's the question.
That's the question.
When we should say there should be meritocracy.
Yes.
I'm sitting here, wasting volumes of saliva every day. But in this same country, you have touts in important positions. You have Division 3 persons in important positions.
Yeah, I was told Agbero is tout. Agberos.
No, my definition yesterday, I said street tax collectors.
No, this is tout. Touts are street tax collectors.
No, well, I didn't use the word tout. I said street tax collectors.
Go ahead.
That's the elegant that I used. So this is this country where you have Division 3 people in important positions, just because they have godfathers, just because they come from a particular part of the country. This is a country where a boy from Anambra will score over 300 in JAMB examination. He will not get admission. Somebody will score 100 from Kebbi State. He will enter university, and then before you know it, he will end up as a permanent secretary or as a Supreme Court judge.
Right. All right.
No, that kind of thing does not, go well for national development.
All right.
This is the question. We have to return to that conversation when we merit matter in Nigeria.
Well said. We are appealing for meritocracy. Meritocracy, really.